You know, there's an easy way to DM, and I'm not sure I've figured it out yet. I feel like there's an all-star cast in the game we're starting tonight. This is going to be episode 1 of our Essentials Kit. We're streaming it, or at least the plan is to stream it on One Crit Wonders Twitch channel and then put the VODs up on here. I will, of course, do these vlog as my version of a recap of the game, or at least my afterthoughts from the game. And speaking of afterthoughts, I want to share a little bit about last night and how, you know, there's an easy way to DM. And I'm not sure I figured it out yet, but let's talk about it anyway. Here we go. Last night I was running a game. This is our We Out Here crew, and we had a blast. It was lots of fun. Last night was a pretty RP, role-play heavy game, and everyone seemed to enjoy it. I, on the backside of the DM screen, felt like I was goofing up the whole night. And it maybe didn't come across that way. In fact, I hope not, and I don't think it did. But that was certainly how I felt at the table. The crew was doing some really awesome stuff and having this great conversation and flow of role-playing. And as much as I did my best to stay in the moment and, you know, act as the NPCs and so forth and respond to what the characters were saying and doing, it still felt a little disjointed to me because I kept having to go to my notes and look at, like, oh gosh, okay, well, what does that mean? And I guess there's something to be said about more prep, maybe, but then again, even if I had, I mean, I had a sense of who these NPCs were, what their sort of their motivations are, what they know, that kind of thing, but I wanted specifics because of what came up in the course of the role-playing. And I just found that, like, what was really cool about last night, I think one of the lessons I learned, and maybe you can take a little bit from this as well, what I learned last night is the more I let go of the session, the more fun everyone seems to have, and on some level, the easier it is for me. Like, last night was actually a pretty easy session for me to run. However, like I said, I felt like I kept having to go to my notes, which was frustrating for me. I hope it wasn't frustrating for my players. They did give me feedback saying, you know, at the end of the game, everybody said, you know, was stoked because it felt like it was a great session, which is awesome. And I hope that we continue that way. And I think here's one of the things that I'm gonna learn, that I really learned from this. And again, I feel like I need to give myself more permission to run with things, and then if I need to, maybe make changes or fix things after the fact, if I need to, because what happened worked out great. The role-playing was awesome, it was fun, and here's the one thing I think that I did very well last night. This I've been working on for like the last 2 or 3 years, and last night really felt like that this was the one thing in the session I was really on top of, and maybe, I hope, but maybe this is why the players seem to be having such a good time. What I did well last night was that I was listening to the players as much as I can. I missed 1 or 2 little bits because I was reading or checking something else. That messed up a little bit. But for the most part, I was listening and in character and with the players as they role-played their characters. And when they were talking with each other, the role-playing was awesome. They were like discussing what they were gonna do or sharing information, and it was great. And all I did, and I feel like I did it really well last night, was make something happen. Oh, that doesn't feel right. I injected something at a moment. Like when it felt like the right moment, someone would say something. Or when it felt like the right moment, I would switch from, you know, group A to group B, let's say. Those little things of like, sort of, I guess what I want to say is controlling the time flow or controlling the narrative on some level, and controlling is probably not the best way to say it. Maybe guiding or directing the flow of the camera, as you were, like you could say that. The flow and the where the attention was in the scene, let's say, in the game. I feel like I really did a great job of that last night, which is awesome. So, learning lesson is, hey, maybe just be a touch more familiar with the NPCs and familiar with what they know, and be willing to just, just go with it, just wing it. That's lesson. And the good thing and the thing I want to encourage you to do, and I'm going to do my best in the future in all my games, is feel the vibe, feel the flow, and work the flow so it feels like, to the players, it feels like there's never a dull moment. That's what happened last night, I think, and it worked out great. I can't wait to tell you all about the game we're gonna have tonight, so make sure you come back tomorrow, keep rolling 20s in your games, and remember, it's your game, play your way. How do you like that? I made it through without making any mistakes today. Woohoo!